Damn, I guess Gullit and Valverde are really excited to get started training with Mourinho or something like that. Welcome back to Know How, everyone, and welcome to the Real Madrid overview. Once again, it's official. The group stage of the World Cup is over for all my guys, so it's time to look at all the Madrid players in the World Cup and rank them one more time after Matchday 3, right before we get into the knockouts. Some guys are already away from the tournament, while some are going strong, but overall, we're still going to talk about them, at least all of them, one more time, and once again, rank them on overall tournament performance. If you guys want to know how the format works, we'll go watch the other videos, and please subscribe while you're at it too, and check out some of the other videos. It puts me in a very good mood. But anyways, let's just get started. So the first game, we got Morocco versus Haiti, and overall we get to talk about Mr. Diaz Brahim. Overall, he had a very fine performance, not as great as against Scotland, but overall he was doing some things. He was creating some stuff, wasn't involved in one of the 4 goals. This is the first time he doesn't get a goal contribution, but overall he was very good. This is a very fine Brahim performance, was out here dribbling, didn't lose the ball overly too much, was overall a nice cog in the piece, and overall I still think I trust Brahim in some of these moments. I think he'll shine in these knockout stages. I think he'll have to be key for Morocco in these games. So overall, nothing too stellar from Brahim, but nothing too bad. I think this goes kind of in the middle. Not as great as against Scotland, but not as bad as how he was against Brazil. Speaking of Brazil, we got to talk about them because now we have a much more prevalent topic. Overall, I'm not going to talk about Endrick. I'm sorry, he didn't play enough. But of course, we got to talk about Vinicius freaking Jr., man. 3 for 3 on Man of the Match awards, and this one was maybe the best performance against a way better opponent in Scotland. He was just absolutely incredible. Had 2 goals, should have had a third one as well, but overall, Vinicius was just very, very decisive. We know now he's been involved in all but one of the goals that Brazil scored in this World Cup, and overall, he's just in an absolute tear. He has been incredible in every single game. Even against Morocco, where he wasn't at his best, he still came through. When Brazil needed him the most, he showed up, and overall, he is having an incredible tournament right now. Just the decisiveness, him being so key to the attack, the space that he's taking advantage, the pressing that led to the first goal. Overall, Vinicius is having his moment. He is showing that he can be that guy for Brazil, and overall, he is just he's carrying the attack right now. It's just crazy how well he's playing. The dribbling isn't amazing, but him still being aggressive and being daring to attack over and over again. It's just something that I applaud Vinicius for. So overall, he's just had an amazing performance. Just anything that you wanted him to do, whether it was creating or pressing or doing all of that, it was just amazing. He should have had a hat trick, but they wrongfully disallowed it for him. But that's just here nor there. So overall, just amazingness from Vinicius Jr., as we've come to expect. Now to Ecuador versus Germany, and we got to talk about Rudiger very briefly. He started the game, and overall didn't really do a whole lot. Ecuador ended up winning, so you can't really applaud Rudiger there. But I don't think he was truly terrible. He had some moments here and there where he was defending well, some moments where he just had a truly bozo pass. I wouldn't say he was at fault for any of the goals here. I would blame it on the other defenders. Rudiger was kind of marking his man, but overall not a very amazing performance from Rudiger. He's probably going to go back to riding the bench. I don't think his ranking is going to change too much. So overall, just a fine center back performance, but I'm not going to credit you because you did end up losing the game. So Rudiger in the end didn't really do his primary job. Going over to Group D, we got Turkey versus the USA, and finally we get to be talk positive about Arda Güler. It was a little too late, but Güler finally got his shining moment at the World Cup, and overall he did play really, really well. This was the Güler that we expected. This was the Turkey that we expected, even though it was against the USA C team. Overall, he played really well. He was creating, ended up scoring a goal. Overall, looked like the Güler that we have come to getting accustomed to, in which he's able to just take a game and be able to dominate it. And overall, I just think he played really, really well. He was dribbling everywhere. He won some duels, created some chances. Again, he scored. Overall, I thought this would be the Güler that we would see throughout the World Cup, which is why we picked Turkey to be such a dark horse. But I guess that's just nor here nor there. So, I mean, I'm not going to credit Güler too much because this performance is very, very insignificant, but I guess it's better than having 3 stinkers in a row. And even though if it was an inferior opponent, I still got to applaud Güler for showing up and actually having a really, really good performance. I just wish that it came in some of the earlier match days. Moving on to maybe the most disappointing game of the whole match day between Norway and France. We thought this would be a classic, but it ended up being pretty boring. And then we can talk about Konate, but to be honest, I won't because he barely played anything, but he got his first minutes of the tournament, so I guess that's something. But we can talk about Tchouaméni first. Tchouaméni, I think, was really, really good. Had an assist for Dembele's third goal, which overall was fine, but overall, I think Tchouaméni had an incredible game. Defensively, he looked amazing. He didn't have to do all those midfield responsibilities that he can't really do. His his weaknesses were really, really minimized, and he was just able to showcase his strengths time and time again. When you have stability around him, even though that makes Tchouaméni a flawed player, that still makes him a really, really valuable player. And overall, I just think he was really, really good today, and I applaud him a lot. I don't know why he didn't get like any minutes in the second game, because I think Tchouaméni is one of the most valuable players, because you see, when you're able to maximize his strengths, there aren't many defensive midfielders better than him, maybe in the entire world at the moment. But going over to the main man, of course, Dembele kind of stole Mbappe's shadow, but Mbappe was still able to have a decent impact. This was one of his more weaker games compared to the other two, but he still made kind of an impact. He had the 2 assists to Dembele kind of in the same manner, and overall, he was just still being daring. He was still like the head of the attack that should have probably scored more goals. I kind of wish that he had gone to goal, but overall, I think Mbappe, he showed that he can still be like very effective even when he isn't like his true goal-scoring self. I think he'll be better in the knockouts. He still did his job. I'm not going to put him too low. There's definitely his like weakest like performance yet, but overall he's still popping off in this tournament. He is still one of the best players, and I still count on him to be great. And like, if this is the worst Mbappe that we get in this tournament, then he might be the greatest World Cup player of all time still. Like, this being the floor with him just makes him an all-time great, to be honest. Moving on to Uruguay versus Spain, where we have our first head-to-head between players in a while, actually. First, we talk about Cucurella, and he kind of played like how he did against Saudi Arabia. Nothing too stellar, but overall was able to help out keep the clean sheet. And while being in the back line and you keep a clean sheet, you can't really get upset about that. So overall, I mean, you got to applaud him for that. Didn't really do many things impressively, but again, like, he's part of the back line, and if you keep a clean sheet, then like you basically did your job. He didn't do like a whole lot coming forward, so I'm not going to say that Cucurella was like stellar. Overall, he hasn't really had many like standout moments in this tournament outside of like one created chance, but overall, like, I'm not going to fault him too much. I think this is a very ordinary performance, and overall, Cucurella is having a very ordinary World Cup for his standards. Now, on the other hand, Valverde, on the other side, I am extremely disappointed in him. Valverde, this is the third straight game in which he has been very, very underwhelming. He wasn't great whatsoever. He got taken out in the 52nd minute when they needed him the most. They decided to take him off, and that is a really bad look for not just Uruguay themselves, but also for him, because they didn't really count on him when they needed him the most in the tournament. Overall, Valverde, just in this performance, he didn't do his job. And overall, like, in the entire tournament, this was just kind of like a whole summary that he just didn't do like his job. Like, he wasn't really like using his pace, his elite physical traits. He wasn't really able to like dominate in any sort of area. He didn't really make his presence felt, and that just says a lot in his performance. Like, I'm not even gonna say much else, because like, it's just really, really disappointing. Like, I'm really, really disappointed in Valverde that like his performances in against Spain and in this World Cup was just a whole nothing burger, and that's just sad with the caliber of player that he is. Moving on to Belgium versus New Zealand, making it brief. Courtois, not led, but they won 5-1. Overall, he did fine, had one save, and ended up conceding a goal that was pretty good. Overall, I'm not going to fault Courtois too much. I mean, he did his job, I guess. They ended up winning. He didn't allow a bunch of goals. Didn't look like completely weak. Just kind of a typical Courtois performance. Had a nice save here and there, but of course, he's not going to keep a clean sheet because he is literally never allowed to for some godforsaken reason. But overall, I mean, just a brief performance for Courtois. Hasn't really had like a stellar World Cup like in 2018, but nothing too bad here and there. So, I mean, there's just not really much to talk about. And because Bernardo didn't play at all, this is the last performance that we're going to talk about, England versus Panama. And I'm glad that we get to end it on a high note, because Jude Victor William Bellingham, oh my God, I salute, I bow, I tip my hat to you, Bellingham. What a performance that he had. This was absolutely incredible. Bellingham was absolutely amazing. England won 2-0 thanks to his goal and his assist, but even apart from that, he was by far the best player on the pitch. Everything that he did, even the scoring, the playmaking, the controlling the tempo, his defensive work ethic is absolutely ridiculous. Bellingham showed why he is that guy for England. People were really questioning among all these guys that they tried to compare to him that they should start over him. That was just preposterous. Bellingham is so clear of his peers, it's not even funny. I know that he had a bad performance against Ghana, but he made up for it with this performance. He was just absolutely incredible, just running all over the pitch. The midfield really wasn't all that great for England, but he was able to take care of all the load, whether it was tackling, defensive duties, marking, trying to score, him running around, just doing his assignments, just overall, just absolutely incredible. And I hope people can realize just how good of a player this guy is, because like, y'all need to respect him. This guy is, for me, a legend in the making. He's had 2 back-to-back incredible World Cup performances, and like, it's just, I don't have much else to say. Like, go and watch the game. Go and watch Bellingham's performance, because it's legitimately maybe the best midfield performance in the entire World Cup thus far, and it's just, what a great way to end the group stage for Real Madrid players. And again, that is all the players I have. Some of them bowed out in the tournament, sadly, in the group stage, but we still have a good amount that are going in strong, and I'm still rooting for them. Here are the updated rankings for the group. Overall, Endrick and Kanate and Bernardo still stay. Valverde went down a lot. Güler somehow went up. Vinicius Jr. for me gets the top spot. Bellingham reclaimed the top 3, along with Mbappe and Vinny Jr. Overall, Courtois went down, even though he had a decent performance. Raheem stayed the same, and a couple of guys went up after Valverde's descent. So overall, let me know in the comments what do you guys think about this ranking. Let me know if I got some things right or wrong. Let me know. But overall, I hope all these guys lock in the World Cup knockouts, as now it is win or go home. And of course, I once again wish that one of these guys is able to take the trophy home for their country while showing out and making Real Madrid proud. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you guys, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about Real Madrid's performances? Who do you guys think will excel in the knockouts, and what did I do right or wrong in my rankings? If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe and please like, as any support is truly appreciated. I hope to have more videos out for the knockout stages, and I'll see you guys in the next one.